YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. And let me start by saying that I have absolutely no business making this video right now. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. I have not been to sleep yet. I am leaving today for Chicago, where I'll be spending the weekend with one of my sisters, and I'm not even packed. So there's no reason why I should be making this video right now other than the fact that I really wanted to talk to y'all about something. I apologize for the crappy lighting. I apologize for the boxes in the background. I'm still not completely unpacked. And I apologize for the direct upload, which is making me look like every ounce of hell that you can possibly imagine. But this required kind of immediate attention, and I really wanted to discuss some things with y'all. The topic of the hour, and which has been the topic of the hour all over Twitter, all over Facebook, Yahoo, I mean, it's really kind of everywhere that you look, is planking. And this is kind of, this video is going to jump around a little bit, but it all does come back to planking. Well, kind of. That's a smaller picture in the grand scheme of what this video is going to be. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what planking is, and really, where the hell have you been? Because everybody's talking about it. But planking is it's a game, for lack of a better way to put it. Wikipedia had a really good definition of it, and I don't have it up right now. But basically, the purpose of planking is this. It's you lie down, face down, with your arms at your sides and your feet together, and you take a picture of yourself. And basically the idea is, the more exotic and adventurous and avant-garde and out of the ordinary your location is, where this picture is taken of you lying down, the more kudos you receive and the more, reaction that you get. There are people who have planked in front of the Taj Mahal. There are people that plank on top of buildings, on ledges, in trees, in traffic. I mean, people have even lost their lives and horribly injured themselves. There's actually a video, I think, on Bossip right now of this guy that attempted to plank on top of his refrigerator and busted his ass. But yeah, so this is what people are doing now. It's just kind of like, the in thing, the au courant thing to do. And the reason behind this video kind of stemmed behind this conversation that I was having in a group that I'm a part of on Facebook, which is for my house's group, the House of Balenciaga group, where we all kind of meet and congregate and talk about stuff. Shouts out to the Balenciagas. And they got this really good dialogue going about planking, because a couple of my, house brothers and house sisters have put up pictures of themselves planking, and we've all kind of laugh out loud and sort of reacted to it in a generally jovial manner. And here's the thing. One of my siblings within my house put up a post today that I was able to substantiate. Basically, planking, this trend that is, literally worldwide at this point, has its roots in slavery. It has its roots in the Middle Passage. Essentially, a plank is a flat board that was used during the time of the Middle Passage at the bottom and on the sides of boats in order to transport slaves. This flat wooden board had shackles built into it so that wrists and ankles could be shackled to it. And that is how Native Africans were transported to the Americas and to Europe. And so the argument was made that we shouldn't be participating in an activity, we as people of color should not be participating in an activity that has its roots in something so horrific, that has its roots that our ancestors, died for, and as a result of, not died for. And then a counter argument was made that African American people should not and will not progress by keeping their eyes upon the past. That, whether it has its roots in slavery or not, it's obviously been reclaimed as something that is being done worldwide, that's something that's meant in fun, and something that's intended to be lighthearted and uplifting, and just generally happy. And that we're not serving ourselves by continuing to look at life and society through the rearview mirror. And this argument was made by more than one African American person in this particular group that I'm a part of. And I kind of wanted to talk to y'all and see where you stood on this idea. Because I was actually talking about it with Nina tonight, and kind of going back and forth, because I can really argue both sides of it. I mean, listen, and like I told the Balenciagas, like I told Nina, I'm going to tell y'all. My fat ass has never planked, has no intention of planking. I mean, come on. Me face down anywhere in life is like, who let the whale out the water? It's just not going down like that. But for those that participate in it, I mean, I don't personally feel like there are any wrong answers here. I think however it translates to you and however it resounds in your spirit is probably the right answer, whatever that might be for you personally. But it does bring up an interesting issue as far as, we can say, do African Americans, do people of color, and do people in general, can they progress by looking to the past? I mean, I'm sure in a lot of ways they can, but in some ways, can they not? It just brought up a lot for me, and it was just incredibly interesting to me. But I really do kind of want to stick to the issue at hand. If you know what planking is, and now that you know the history behind it, and let me just read this to y'all really quickly, and of course I will include the link below. Let me find something that I can read, actually. To hear it be told, planking as we know it now supposedly came from two guys that were traveling through Europe, and I know that people in Australia may have started it. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. But the act really started in slave ships. I'm reading now. Used in the Middle Passage. A plank collar is used on slave benches. It is a heavy wooden plank with 5 semicircular openings. When the plank is lifted, it provides holding collars for 5 slaves. The plank is then chained down. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's kind of, it's hard to read. It's just difficult to read, to know that this was not only a part of history, but at a time this was for the Western world the norm. That's a tough pill to swallow. And cue the cigarette. I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I've been watching on Facebook. I've been seeing I've been seeing the planking game, and it does seem like people are having fun. It does seem like they're enjoying themselves. I don't think it's a bad thing to enjoy yourself, and I don't think anybody should feel guilty about enjoying themselves so long as they're not hurting themselves or anybody else. But at the same time, this is something that has its roots in the greatest tragedy, in my eyes, in our world's history. The greatest tragedy, the greatest miscarriage of justice that we as a human species have ever bore witness to. And I think the aftermath of that time period is something that, to a degree, we're still feeling today. But then again, on another note, you take words like the N word. Yeah, I can't do that. You take words like nigger, and people of color have reclaimed that terminology and have used it amongst each other as a term of endearment. You take a term like dreadlocks, or dreads, which I personally don't say at all, but there are plenty of folk that do, to describe that particular, hairstyle. But the term dreadlocks has its roots in when Africans were coming to Europe. European women were looking at the coils and the ropes of hair that existed within African people and proclaimed it dreadful. And that's where we get dreadlocks from. But people toss it out like it's M&M. So I mean, with that being said, if it's socially acceptable in that instance, to a degree, if it's socially acceptable with regard to the N-word, to a degree, how is this, once again, like, this can go any which way, and again, I don't feel there are any wrong answers. But I had to bring it to y'all's attention, and I'm dying to hear what you have to say. So, with that being said, please drop your thoughts below. I would like any response videos you may have, any comments that, might shed some light on this and how it makes you feel and whether you would ever plank or whether you see a problem with it or not. I've got to know. Please help me out. So, with that being said, I'm gone off to Chicago. Hope I get to see some of y'all. Please don't hesitate to write me through here if you'd like to meet up. I will be there Saturday through Monday, God willing. And so I will be seeing y'all very, very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Have an excellent 4th. And I'll be talking to y'all. One love. Planking.